Hello, beautiful, vibrant souls. I'm so glad that this video has crossed your timeline. We are here to pull a few cards for the collective, see what messages Spirit has for us at this time. If you are personally looking for more in-depth guidance, I am more than happy to provide it. I can do so in a recorded video that is confidential and is done on a sliding scale, so it will always fit your budget. So we have 3 cards here for the collective. To start with, our Eight of Swords. Distractions. Interference. In this case, I'm getting that somebody doesn't like how you're doing things, or they don't like the fact that you have continued to pursue things, that you have accomplished things, that you are not giving them credit. I'm hearing you're not giving credit where credit is due. Or maybe that's just a matter of perspective. I don't think it's necessarily the case that perspective that credit is due in other places, or perhaps that you've given credit and they just weren't present for it. And they seem to think that you need to grovel on your knees and constantly say, "Oh my goodness, I could never accomplish anything without these people." But that's just simply not true. There's so much that you had to endure, that you had to do on your own. There's so much that you were the person that was suffering. You were the person that was dealing with the step by step, day to day, worry by worry, waking up with the cold sweats, crying yourself to sleep. And yeah, absolutely, you gave credit where credit was due when you were helped. There are people, but isn't it funny that the ones that really stepped up, really stepped up and did you right, that helped you out when you were in a pinch, they never need you to publicly do all that for them. Because you continuing on and not giving up is exactly all they need to see, because they helped you because they thought you were worthy and they love you. And they know what you feel about it. They know that you appreciate it. And you share that with them personally. It's not about publicly broadcasting for everyone else to see. And that's what this is about. This is about, they want some kind of public acknowledgement. They want you to humble yourself in some way. It's not because you're bragging. It's not what this is about. This is because you're just persevering, because you haven't given up. And I guess they thought you were supposed to when they stopped supporting you. I'm getting from Spirit that there's somebody out there that just doesn't think you deserve the support. They don't want you to succeed. And if they had it their way, they would probably interfere in some way. Their energy and their attitude is trying to distract you, or they're trying to distract you with that energy or take from you. On rare occasion, it's I'm feeling like there's some people that may see this and not fully understand what's happening. But I think deep down, for this collective pull, for this one in particular, you know what this is about. You're feeling it very strongly, and you don't have any doubts about what that's about. This Ten of Pentacles shows us that we are on the right track. It has been a hard road, and it has been hard earned. You have had help, and you know that. But this is also where you show thanks in that, where you do the things that you need to do, where you are able to step up when you finally get that break that you've been working for. It's not been easy. And you struggled a lot behind the scenes. So this celebration seems like you've just had it easy the whole time. For some people, they're not really truly seeing the whole picture. But you and the people closest to you know how perfect timing and how important it is that you finally feel as though your work is paying off, that you finally accomplished something. I'm getting some financial reward or some, it seems as though there's maybe some kind of inheritance, some kind of um, lucky situation, a lucky break. There's some people that are think that for some reason that that shouldn't be yours, but thankfully it's not their decision. That's something that they have a say in. Things going very well for you in this regard. You're on the right track, and because you have neg- neglected giving your attention to these distractions and interferences, you're not losing your steam. You're not losing your momentum at all. It's just, it's steady, and it feels very grounded. It just feels, it's, there's no like over the top elation here. There's no like irresponsible actions or anything. It's just so very like, I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm finally seeing the rewards of that, and it just feels right. It just feels right, and I feel good, and I feel stable, and I feel in control, and I feel like I know what I'm doing finally, and I'm just plowing forward. We have our Hierophant here. We want to keep going. We want to keep learning. We want to keep progressing. You've shown that you are a rather adept learner. You learn new skills quickly, and you're what you've decided to step into, and you've and been inspired to pick up in that field or in this learning. You're being recognized for doing a really good job, for knowing what you're doing. Now, for some of you, I'm feeling that you finally decided that you know which way that you're heading, and so you're being called to step into this larger arena of students, of people picking up skills, of working towards something that you desire. And there are people here that are your teachers. They want to teach you, they want to pick up, and you are going to do a great job at this. So there is a lot of stepping into the ring, focused, full of determination, full of will, absolutely ready to work hard and ready to accomplish everything that you've dreamed of. And this is no foolhardy on a whim kind of a thing. This is real. This is something that is absolutely within your grasp, and these cards confirm it, that it is time for you to step into that power. It is time for you to elevate your skills. It is time for you to learn new things. It's time for you to get into that classroom. It's time for you to finish that degree. It's time for you to take on that new career or to take on that mentor. These things all fall into place for you, and yeah, there's going to be levels and layers. There's going to be easy sometimes, it's going to be harder sometimes, and you're going to step it up every single time. We're going to focus in just a moment on this leadership card, because I feel like it follows with our previous reading with the tarot. There is an element here of you picking up pieces of things that were left from perhaps previous efforts, things that you had tried to accomplish before that you were not capable of at that time, or the timing was not right for you. You are walking into situations where there are pieces that were left behind, that somebody else left, that they were incapable of completing, and their time was over. Their time was to move into a new realm. Not there's no negative energy left here. Now maybe there's some people that have some feelings about it, but this is a matter of divine timing. This is a matter of you now having your spot to shine, to show what you're good at. You walk into a situation and you fit in. This is something that you were made for, you've been preparing for, you have spent time putting yourself into a position of feeling confident. Um, I'm I'm seeing that there's been people that have questioned your intelligence, that have questioned your skills and abilities and where you were placed, and you stood up to everything that was laid out to you. You proved it. You don't have to walk away from or shirk from anyone who questions or challenges you. In fact, they're going to end up feeling a little bit silly for that. This is a confidence that you've acquired over time and experience. This is not something that's false ego. It's not ego at all. It's not a sense of you're not having some insecurity or difficulties accepting your identity or what it is that you're meant to be doing, or what position that you've earned. This is, you've spent time putting yourself in this place, and you've been challenged, and you finally reached this point where you were like, in some rooms, you've discovered that you were not valued, and when you walked out of that room, you realized that there was a whole lot of other rooms that you were absolutely valued and appreciated, that they did need what you had to offer, and you walked into those rooms and you did what needed to be done, and there were people that were grateful for the work that you've done. They've been so appreciative. So now when you walk into a new space, you can kind of determine right off the bat whether or not you're going to fit or not fit, whether you have skills to add to this or you do not. So you don't take on things that you're not capable of. You don't take on things that you're not already ready for and good at. If you walk into the room and you're being humbled and you're like, oh, this is a place for me to learn, then you recognize it as a place for you to learn. And that's fine. That's great. And you're willing to take those lessons as well. And you've done that over time. But that also means that you know the difference. So when you walk into a room, if there is something that you have to add, you add it. And there may be some people who think that you shouldn't be as confident, that you shouldn't be as bold, that you shouldn't be as outspoken, that you shouldn't be so willing to put yourself out there. The fact of the matter is that we're all at different places. We're all at different levels. Our skills and our abilities and the things that we're good at, we're all at different levels. And so as long as you're willing to learn and be humbled in those spaces where you are not the big fish in the small pond, when you walk into a room and you are the person with the most experience, you don't have to shrink yourself. You don't have to say, oh, well, I don't know. No, for so many times, I feel like, and especially for those who are not of the typical variety of human that is used to having that kind of privilege, some of us walk into a room and are immediately presumed to be less because of who we are in some other capacity. That's all I'm going to say on that. We know who we're talking about, right? Some people aren't used to you being outspoken and leading. It may even make them uncomfortable. You don't have anything to question here. This is what you were made for. This is what you've been put in this role for. This is where you are meant to be right now. So go ahead and lead. Lead them, and do so in the best way that you know how. One final card pull for this reading. We want to add some more messages from Spirit just to bring that message home. Our Scarab Beetle, the magic works through you. It is not in the things that occur on the outside that propel you and your goals. You get these signs and you get these little symbols and the synchronicities that help assure you and validate you in your journey. But it is the inside feeling of knowing, because sometimes there are things that are happening on the outside that, though they feel very awkward and they feel very weird, they're telling you that you're not capable. They're telling you that this is not for you. I'm getting, for some of us, that we have naysayers in our midst that are not necessarily the most positive people, that are willing to stand up behind us and or stand up for themselves even. And that's really just a reflection on the areas that they're still working on for themselves. But you have developed a sense of knowing and a sense of understanding and confidence in this, and recognize that it is when you trust this process, when you say to the universe, this is what I want, this is where I belong, I'm going to make this happen, that this energy is what aligns the opportunities for you. This is what aligns and brings those signs and synchronicities to you. It's not that you see the synchronicities and say, oh, yes, here is my alignment. Now I can feel confident. It's the other way around. It's without a doubt feeling that you are where you need to be, even in those challenges, even in those moments where you feel like you have to be the most resilient, most patient. You don't have all the answers, and it doesn't matter to you, because you just say, well, I'm going to figure it out. I know that something's going to work for me. I don't know how I'm going to pay this bill, but I'm going to visualize myself paying this bill, and the opportunity will come to me. I don't know how I'm going to juggle this job and this school, but I see myself doing it, and I see myself with high marks and getting scholarships and getting that degree. I don't know how I'm going to get through this health issue. I can't necessarily see the answers, but I can see myself at the end of it. I can see myself feeling vibrant and healthy and wonderful again. This is the frequency that the universe is aligning with. This is faith. This is a belief in something greater than yourself. This is a belief in your purpose, in your mission, in that this lesson is here to elevate you, to take you to a better place, to grant you everything that you desire. There is a type of humility and compassion that one learns when they go through hardship or medical issues. Do we think it's fair? No, absolutely not. Would we wish it on anyone else? Absolutely not. Does that mean that it's some kind of act of God when people are suffering? No. But it also doesn't mean that there isn't something that these people gain in insight and understanding from these experiences. And it is their feelings in what can come from it that can do the most for those people in that time that we have here. So, with the exception of a few situations where it might be difficult to figure out what it would look like to be at the other side of that hardship, one can visualize the outcome that one wants. You can visualize getting that degree. You can visualize that promotion. You can visualize that new car. You can visualize paying those bills, buying that new house. You can visualize that perfect family that you're desiring. You don't need to know the steps to get there. What you need to know is that you believe you deserve it and you believe it's possible for you. And then you trust your feelings along the way, and you do the things that are right, and you do the things that feel good to you, that feel like they make sense to you. You don't have to explain it to anyone. It just has to feel correct for you. The magic comes through you in that it matches vibrationally. That commitment and that trust and faith that it's going to work out. I don't know how, but I know that it's going to work out. You have a type of resilience that very few people can truly put their finger on or truly understand from their own personal standpoint. That's why you came across this video. Whatever you are going through, I just want you to know that you are so much stronger than this moment. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to visualize what it looks like when you get out of this situation, when you accomplish your goals, when you match your dreams to your desires, to the reality that you're living. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What is happening for you? What is the signs that show you that you're there? Take some time and spend those moments feeling what that feels like, celebrating yourself in that moment, remembering this moment and remembering when you decided that nothing else was possible for you and that you weren't going to stop until you got there. That was when you made the magic happen. Thank you so much for joining with me today. I'm always so grateful to be a part of your journey, and I hope that we can meet together again.